Hello and welcome to the Wynonna Earp Reaction Podcast here on Amber Plaster's YouTube channel. This is season 4, episode 11, Better Dig 2. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm joined by my incredible panel. Hello, Amber. Welcome.
Hello. Welcome to my channel. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. We have an entire playlist of season 4 of the Wynonna Earp Reaction Podcast. There will also be links in the description below for previous seasons that we did with other hosts and channels and stuff like that. So you can get all of the information from the pilot all the way to where we are now in the description. So check it out. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for letting us do this on your channel. Kari Lane is here. Hello, Kari.
What's up, everyone? Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're almost at the end. It's like,
seriously.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And Alexis is here. Hello, Alexis.
Hello, everybody. I can't believe we're already at the end. This is crazy. I'm so sad, but also this is awesome because the episode was so good.
Honestly, this episode was fantastic. If you are watching us live, then you can chat along with us in the chat. If you're watching us later, we've missed you. Hit a
comment down below.
Yeah, comment below. Also, this is the one before the last, the penultimate, as they call it.
Yeah.
This is it. We're so close. I'm so scared. How did we feel about this episode? I know that as things were happening, I went, wait, was this the finale? Is this it? Is this how it ends?
I thought it was the finale too, and I was like, I'm not ready.
Especially that final scene. It's like, what this could be, but what's next? And that makes me very nervous of what's gonna happen next.
I was gonna riot because I was like, are we not getting a fucking way hot wedding? I need to see them. I need it. I need it in my life. And then they were like,
and then the
12.
last
I was like,
5 minutes of the episode was like, wait a minute. Let's
Yeah.
discuss all the things in the bar. And I was like, thank you.
Recap time.
Yeah, we'll get to the end of the episode because I appreciated it. But let's start with Angel Waverly. Let's start with this. Dark Angel Waverly, first of all, looking fantastic.
I love those little like was it thigh high like socks?
They were
or
thigh
whatever?
highs, and then she had like a
Little
garter thing tied on too.
I was like, okay.
It was a
get
magical
it.
girl outfit change. I was like, wait,
Yes.
when did her clothes change?
While the like transition to Dark Angel was a slow transition, which I kind of like. The transition out was instant, which I also liked. I think it was a really nice way to tell that story. So I appreciated that. Here's what we've understood, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So Dark Angel Waverly is the failsafe. She is the protector of the garden. She is the scion of Julian. What's a scion? Anyone?
That's such a great question. Let's Google it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Thanks, Amber. I was like, I'm saying this, but now I need to.
A
Girl, hold
scion
on.
definition is a detached living portion of a plant, such as a bud or a shoot off. So it's how to use scion in a sentence. It's like the shoot off of something more natural, I guess.
Great.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Sure.
That's actually a perfect definition.
Cool.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google.
So now we understand who she is. She is a protector of the garden. Wynonna is the champion, but Waverly feels like Wynonna, she's done. She's like, you're good. I've got you. So we've now got the Shield, who has bound herself.
I knew it.
It works so well though too, because it's like when it happened, you go, yes, this is absolutely
I was like,
fitting.
This was totally fate. Like, it makes sense.
Never have I ever been more happy with an episode of Wynonna Earp. This is my favorite episode.
You know what?
By
I
far.
agree.
Yeah, same.
I was
Because
really...
of everything coming together and so many plot questions we have, not only because the predictions we made were true, not only because our predictions came true, which was like, what was it? I think the only person who can get to Waverly is Nicole. Check. I think that Doc and Waverly won't, or Doc and Wynonna won't kill each other. We said something to that effect. Check. What was the
Mercedes the vampire.
It was so nice to see her back.
And being turned by Doc because she's like, I was literally meant to be a vampire. And I was just like, did I not say that? Like, it was just so good. And she played it so good. And it was literally just everything I wanted for Mercedes to end, for that entire jail scene to be like wrapped up. It was so good. Oh my God. The moment where Jeremy's like, take me instead.
Oh,
and they
that got me. That got me.
The only thing though with Mercedes, I felt like I was 5 steps ahead of that. Like, make her a vampire. Make her a vampire. Make her. I'm like, oh, it took them forever. And then when they did, I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny that you say that. So the Mercedes turning into a vampire, 100%. Also, she looked incredible in that dress. So like, I understand how upset she was because that dress was phenomenal.
I know. She's like, I'm getting blood all over this.
But so the episode starts with Doc fighting his urges. And that was, I think, the only part of the episode that I was like, this is going on too long and I don't like it. As soon as he hugged Jeremy and she was like, make me a vampire. And then there was that beautiful consent conversation.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh my God. If it was any other show, that would have not been there.
Right.
Yeah.
If it was written by anybody else other than Emily Andreas, there would have not been a conversation much needed about consent, whether it be violence, pleasure, just consent in general. That was such a nice little
consent is sexy.
We gotta love a lady saying "suck me off."
Enthusiastic consent.
Oh, that was so good. I was like, thank you. I was like, how could you not? It's such a good.
This episode is phenomenal. We also concluded the Billy Clanton storyline, which
Billy,
thank God.
I'm so grateful we wrapped that shit up.
Yes,
I was over it.
I just kind of ignored Billy because I was like, this is just going to be a monster that's never going to go away. When I finally saw his little fresh-faced, concerned little Billy face back, I was like, oh yeah, I like this actor. Yeah, this actor went for it this episode.
As he should, because it was like, it's the last go, you know? I was like, get it, my little baby boy, do it.
I don't think I've ever been like not concerned for a character and then suddenly concerned for a character more than in this episode, because I was just like, I believed everything. I believed his pain. I believed him wanting to help. Wynonna went blind.
Let's talk about blind Wynonna for a second. Okay. Alexis, what did you want to say?
I was just wondering. I'm like, why did we throw that in there? Like,
I agree.
I liked it because I didn't think that that could happen. I didn't think that Waverly could physically harm, even under another influence, her sister.
Yeah. It was so temporary.
It was so weird. When it came out, I had to rewind because I'm like, why can't she see again? It's one little line, like, my eyesight's back. Like, that was
that's why I felt like it didn't feel like it meant, like, I didn't feel like Wynonna was in any danger, if that makes sense. That's why I don't care for it.
Also, she wasn't 100% blind. She could still see outlines and stuff. That I'm like, okay, just not like she's complete darkness. And then also how it went into it, I'm like, wow, this just feels like bad genie wish of like, well, I'm not going to watch this happen. Well, you don't want to watch? I can solve that for you. I'm like,
honestly, I didn't mind the way it started, and I didn't mind the half blindness. I minded that it was temporary. Like, it was, when it happened, I went, quick. Oh my God, like, wow, this is going to be wild. Now she has to fight her sister who she can't see, who like can't see.
She was going to be blind the whole episode.
Me too.
Yeah.
Or I thought Peacemaker was going to show out of it.
Yeah.
But no, like, it needed to finish. Like, okay.
We're all so excited. Yes. So Billy is returned. I really enjoyed the like Rachel situation of it. Rachel's trying to do the right thing. She's trying to follow in Wynonna's footsteps, and instead gets turned into bait. Which
I'm so glad it worked though with Billy, because who else was concerned that it was just all a ruse, that it wasn't going to do anything? I'm like, oh great, we're going to have Rachel bleed out and nothing happens.
I agree. I thought that that the trick was that Rachel was just, bleeding.
And that was going to be it.
Yeah. So the fact that it did help Billy is nice. Then, all right, let's get to what the Clantons' plan was. So Cleo is annoyed that she's the heir. She's annoyed that she's tied to her family. If you are a dead Clanton, you become a Reaper. Everyone's following her. They're stuck with her soul. They're living in her head. She's exhausted. She's over it. So she uses Rachel to get Wynonna there and then tries to pass the title of heir to Wynonna. I'm just going to throw out I don't think that's how heirs work, but whatever. But instead, because she's not good at it, she sends it to Doc, who has been having premonitions.
I didn't understand this, and I just kind of brushed over it. But okay. I almost enjoyed the ma'am always said I was shit for brains, and I was like, okay, so she's just messed up. I don't get it. But I thought it was a really good choice to creatively send whatever this curse was to Doc, because Waverly and Wynonna both care about him so much. That made it way more interesting than just making Wynonna the enemy again, because we've seen quite a bit of that. Yeah, and I felt also something that I noticed and wanted to write down but didn't. There's, as somebody who is interested in the esoteric arts, the tarot and the astrology and all of that. Not that I know all of it, but I found it very interesting on a feminine level that between what's her name, Clanton, Cleo Clanton, Rachel, and Wynonna, everyone's intention had quite changed this episode. Cleo was kind of back to her unstable self, as opposed to the I could help of the last two episodes, where she was kind of just in survival mode. Rachel was trying so hard to not be impulsive. She was trying so hard to trust Wynonna, and she was just she was zeroed in, and she was being romantic and being like, I want Billy. She could have done any of those other things because she was young, and for that age, she was acting way more mature than she needed to be this entire episode. And Wynonna, we saw previously, wake up, shoot, drink, repeat. And that intention was completely gone this episode, and I believed it. And I feel like when she tried to put that curse on her, I think because Wynonna's intentions were not more powerful, but just so damn clear, that it just didn't hit her. It didn't hit her. So we went to someone else who was maybe more susceptible to magic and was stressed out at the time, Doc. But I just thought it was really cool because with magic, typically it works really well if someone is in pain or upset, which is why we have blood, because it's just a more intense reaction. But Wynonna was like, lasered in, and I was like, yes, that is how it works sometimes.
I love that explanation too, because I felt bad actually for Cleo of the shit for brains. I really was like, even though you're doing bad stuff, I don't like you putting yourself down. Your parent told you you're bad at stuff, and now you're repeating that cycle. And so I love the idea that no, she's good at what she does, but her intended target, it just couldn't work the way it was. So I love that explanation. Combined
with Cleo being shit for brains, which was kind of not my favorite explanation, but at least it got us there quickly, so we didn't have to keep thinking about it.
I agree with you both. I think that that's a really beautiful explanation. I do think that also, we've seen that she isn't the best at whatever she puts her mind to, which is okay. I kind of would have even liked to messed up. Oh, well, it worked out anyway. And then, which would have been fine. I do like that Cleo's intentions were to get the hell out of Dodge. She was like, I'm out, and that's all I care about.
Peace.
So she's like, it's not my problem, and she left.
That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, the end of the episode, Cleo for me was the most Cleo she's ever been. She wasn't under Mam's control. She wasn't worried about her brother's lives at stake for once in her life. She saw an out. She took it. She apologized. What else could you want?
Literally, they tied up Cleo's the whole arc very in a nice bow. It was perfectly set for her to exit stage left. So that's really nice that they did that for her. So
I have someone in the chat saying, who knew John Henry Holiday Clanton?
Question
I
mark?
was confused. So
let's go over it one more time. So it seems that the Clanton heir is a curse that can be transferred to a non-Clanton. That said, it could explain the question we'd been asking as to who were the fathers and mothers of, what was the sheriff's name? Billy and Cleo.
Yeah, I was curious about that too, because they don't necessarily all look like they are related.
Right.
They actually, the three of them look very different on purpose.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I think that we've now established beautifully that the Clanton heir is a title that can be put upon anyone, cursed upon any person. But anyone who then, I guess, from this now family that you have been put into, let's call it adoption. You've been adopted into this family.
You could just say it's a cult, like literally what it is.
Yes, but the idea was that if anyone who dies in this cult then becomes a reaper and lives in your head and is attached to your soul. Yeah. So when the curse is transferred to Doc, he can see and hear and feel all of the reapers that have surrounded him versus Wynonna's duel. I do appreciate this moment where essentially they turned their biggest enemy into one of them and would have to then kill the rest of their enemies. True. I think that's a very clever, devious, evil plan, and I love it. It's what what Cleo wanted to do to Wynonna was, now you have to kill everyone you love because they are our enemies. I think that's a very smart. I love a good evil plan.
I love a revenge storyline. Yeah. Love it.
The only thing that I was confused about and had questions of is up until I would say this episode, maybe last episode, Doc has premonitions, has visions, can see things happening.
Well, somebody in the chat, Louisa, sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Louisa Amora says, ma'am wanted Doc. So maybe this has already been started a while ago, or has started a while ago. Because remember, she wanted Doc.
Yeah.
Maybe that intention directed the curse as well.
Easily.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Do we have anything about Doc knowing what was going to happen? Because we do have the moment where he meets with Dark Angel Waverly, and she says, when she's asking for the book, she says, you've seen what's coming. You know what happens next. Mm-hmm. And that is why he loads his gun incorrectly, so that he knows what's about to happen.
I was like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe with how he's died and come back in different ways has made him somebody who is susceptible to otherworldliness. He's not your regular average human, so I'm like, sure.
He wasn't
human.
He is now.
He's a shadow of a human. And apparently now he's unvampirized, which I didn't love because
why?
What? You made another vampire. There's magic all around. We could probably use a supernatural human being to protect people. And what?
We just treated humans is what we did. Yeah. Because now way hot. Nicole is now technically like she's the shield and everything. So now Doc's the human of the group.
Well, Doc wanted to grow old essentially with Wynonna and have a normal life. So, but Amber, I'm with you. We're losing a fighter in a way. You know, he can still fight. He's just far more susceptible to everything now.
If I recall, he's still the fastest gun in the West.
You know,
yes, and but now he can actually die from a bullet.
I did enjoy more. I mean, I think probably my favorite episode to date was when Doc in season 1 shows how he shoots. Where I was just like, Henry, oh my god! But like in this episode, we got a little bit of that where he does this weird thing with his pinky when he's holding the gun that I don't think I've ever seen other cowboys do. That just is so specifically Doc. And then we got the standoff, and I was just like,
I love
it.
I love this idea, multiple times this episode, we have people telling Doc, we know who you are. Like you've lost yourself right now and we know who's really in there. Yeah. And I really love that because sometimes Doc has to be the adult and this time he didn't have to. Everyone else was the adult for him.
I know, it was nice.
That's a good point.
Nice change up. Yeah.
So many things I loved about this episode. At the time thought that his premonitions or knowing came from him having lived several lifetimes, having a basic understanding of dark magic and being like, this isn't done. You know how curses work. It's going to get worse. I kind of chalked it up to that. I don't know if that was right. But when Waverly said, you know what's coming, I kind of took it as, one, he's a werewolf, so he can walk through the fog without getting affected.
Vampire.
Vampire?
Huh?
He's a vampire, not a werewolf.
Oh, sorry. Vampire.
He's not a hybrid. That'd be kind of cool, though.
That would be kind of cool.
Who's a werewolf? I've said it.
I'm in.
So I think that he knew that with Waverly or Dark Waverly coming and being like, I need to get this book. And he's like, I'm not going to give it to you because I don't know what all this is. And I want Waverly back. Trust you. And then she was kind of like, things are bad right now. You know things are going to get worse. That's kind of how I took that. You saw the premonitions. And then when he sort of saw the Clanton on, I don't know if, I guess he had seen that marking before. And so he knew.
Right.
He knew he was going to have to do something.
He knew it meant something, yeah.
But before that,
he loaded his gun.
So if you see before that, he, when everyone's escaping from BBD, which we'll talk about BBD in a second, he says to Nicole that he's going to go in and get the stragglers and his weapons. And that's when we see that some spirit is whispering to him what is happening or what's going to happen. He loads his gun backwards, or with the wrong bullets, I mean.
And he said, I will not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought maybe there's someone in the mist whispering like you should kill everyone, but I guess
I thought it was connected to the Dark Waverly essence at first, like maybe something, but then it's like, oh, maybe not. But yeah, it was definitely. I liked subtitles like ethereal whispering.
Well,
yes.
Waverly did mention Dark Waverly mentioned she was the last respite for the fifth realm, the fifth element, which is the non-physical, right? Which is what we dealt with a lot in this episode. And he was being spoken to by the non-physical. So I think it's easy to assume that it came from her, but I think they both were just in the same swimming pool of the non-physical at the time. So they both could
makes sense.
Let's talk about BBD and how we finally took those a-holes down.
The reveal of Nicole finally getting around to getting in BBD. Not that she had much other option because she was lost in the woods, but like I loved the you're gonna regret this, and then that I didn't. There's so few times I'm surprised by television. So few. I celebrate them every time they happen, and this was one of them. And I just,
Also, Jeremy kicking butt too. Like, no,
I was really
purgatory. I was like, yay, go
I was
team.
so proud of him.
Yeah. In his own way, though.
Yeah.
He said, I know where a weapon is. It's called a werewolf. He's over there. His name is Freddy.
He's a florist.
And he goes, Fred, and he's like, not now. And I was like, okay. And then he sicks him on him, and I was like, that is how he would fight. He had to. He was backed into a corner. He was smart and observed the situation and then calmly took control. That's the only way this man will fight.
Yeah.
Truth.
Oh, that phone call too? You're like,
I was like, okay, all right, Jeremy, get it.
So
this is also that
walking
BBD
in his
agent.
and I was just like, oh, swagger, yes.
And that BBD guy, we pretty much don't like him at all right now. So I think we're all like, yes, werewolf, please take him out.
Yeah, I'm like, we were done with him.
Yeah.
And what was it she said? She's like, we're open to everyone except for
this town is inclusive.
And then he's like, military? She's like, no, not that.
And I thought it was a really good argument, especially with right now, with the all cops are bastards, which obviously they are. But they didn't start out that way.
Right.
They were programmed to be dehumanized. And just like the military's programs are young men and women to leave their intuition and their empathy at home so they can protect themselves and go to war. Like they were like, no, it's not you. It's assholes. assholes aren't working. And I was like, I want that on a t-shirt.
I want that on a t-shirt.
It's not you. It's not your skin color. It's not your gender. You're a problem. And you know you're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. They just made it so simple. Nicole
took over, she not only is accepting her sheriff responsibility duties, she says to Dark Angel Waverly, she says, I got left behind before. I'm not doing it again. I am the sheriff. Let me extend my watch. Whew. I was like, yes, please.
And she even acknowledged, she said, like, even in the fifth realm, even monsters. And I'm like, I wouldn't have believed that if I hadn't seen 4 other seasons of her dealing with some scary shit.
Truth.
Also, commitment to all of them of having the seriousness in that scene too of the staircase. Of I believed it. I'm like, absolutely, this 100% makes sense for Nicole to do that, and like that is her core essence of like helping people and protecting. And it's like, this is what I'm made for, and it's like, of course. And then you be together and. Of all kinds of sacrifices she had to make, I'm like, that's not that bad. She's like, don't oversell it. It's just a staycation with the woman I love. I was like, it's like
she was likely to be in the Ghost River Triangle her whole life anyway, just like Wynonna and Waverly. So I didn't love that she was stuck there, but
of all the things to sacrifice, come on, that's not that
for
bad.
real. Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of like, don't throw me back in the briar patch. Oh no! Like they were just fine with it. They're like, we know this hell. We can deal with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's stuck in the Ghost River Triangle. Shocker.
All right.
We have this. Let's talk about Nedley for a sec. I absolutely love the any good with incantations. Like,
he just like brings it. I was like, yes, this is the guy you're supposed to go to. I was so excited when Billy showed up there. I was like, yes, Nedley.
Also, though, that's very Midsummer, and he's like, I don't know. I was a swamp monster. I didn't see it.
So good.
It was so good. It was lovely to have that back, and I just love how he was just like ready for it. Oh, also, did anybody else like cringe when he was like, "All right, all we have left is banana liqueur and water"? I was like, like I was so gross.
I loved that because I noticed it before he said it, so I don't feel like he didn't need to say it, but it was
because you saw it on the label.
Joke of like, I'm gonna call it banana shit.
I was like, what?
And then back to Nedley's response to who's in danger. I love this comment in the chat. C Royalty says, Nedley, the ultimate girl dad. It's like,
yeah. He's like,
my girls are in danger. I am coming to the rescue. I'm like,
not my girls, my babies.
Yes.
So great. So he helps Billy reclaim the heir title, right? So now Billy's the heir, and he commands the Reapers to stand down, which seems like, when Doc is dying, he's like, this isn't the end. They're still going to come for you. And then Dark Angel Waverly frees the Reapers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Question. Was that good or bad? Because that wasn't
good.
Clear to me.
I think good.
I go good because it feels like they were in essentially a trapped living hell. Because we get the older brother of like, this isn't me. Like it felt like he's trying to say like, I'm not this. And you're just stuck in kind of a living hell. And being a bird, I mean, sure, that's maybe not what we want, but it's better than the ultimate.
Yeah, because I feel like if she let them go as in like just let them free as in their Reaper like state, then I think it would be a problem. But they're just I forgot what type of bird that is, but the fact that they're able to roam free on their own accord is nice.
I believe it's a crow. What kind of bird was that? If anyone knows, leave it in the comments.
Someone said magpie.
Magpie?
It was very like specific.
Yeah, magpies. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What does a magpie signify again?
I don't know, but
I'm looking it up.
Their ranch was called Magpie Ranch.
Magpies are birds known for their bold personality and intelligence. They are also well known for their calls and songs.
Nice.
Well, there we go. And I would definitely pick freedom as a bird versus like trapped doing. Yeah, the same thing too. They're trapped doing things they didn't want to do. So.
Aurora in the chat says
now there's
the magpies of Magpie Ranch. Yep.
Oh, that's actually kind of cute though.
That's super cute. Yeah. Totally Waverly. That wasn't Dark Waverly. That was real Waverly.
Oh,
like I found something to do.
I found something else. the magpie is generally seen as an ill omen in many Western societies and a positive omen of love in many Eastern communities. They are associated with witchcraft, magic, and prophecy. They are also associated with wit lore and the symbolism of bridges.
Cool.
That sounds pretty spot on.
Good enough for me.
Sounds like our writers are clever and thought things through, and I appreciate that.
I mean, yeah, because it's Wynonna Earp. Hello.
Well, I would say this episode they've gotten better. Like a couple of the previous episodes this season, I felt like the writing, it's not bad, but there were things that were just like, it just didn't settle right. But this was like, everything knocked out of the park of like, thank you. We got things wrapped up. We got better explanations. We got better depth and just better character development. So it's like, makes sense that this is the almost season finale.
Right.
Yeah. Future Amber, if you're watching this, rewatch this episode. It's so good. I don't care how old you are. Rewatch this episode. This one.
Right.
Specific one.
This specific one. And can we talk about how good her hair was this episode? I want to put my hair in curlers. I don't even have hair, just to try to look like Wynonna Earp's hair.
Yeah, she looked. I also love that this is probably the shiniest pair of pleather pants that she's ever worn in the entire 4 seasons we've seen. Like one, it wasn't black, it was red. It was like a maroon, like maroon dark red. And then it was like you could literally see it from space. It was so damn shiny. I was like, okay, we are really selling it that she loves these pants. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
We have people in the chat discussing Dark Angel Waverly. A lot of them saying that Jay Bailey says, I don't really think Dark Waverly was evil, though. So it could be Dapper Waverly. But
here's the thing, though. Yes. In contrast to regular Waverly, anything is dark.
Also, she specifically calls herself Dark Angel Waverly, which...
Yeah,
I remember because Dark Angel is a classic quality show that you should all watch. So when she said it, I was like, ooh, Jessica Alba.
I don't think she was evil either. And she didn't do anything malicious in this time.
Right.
She was just trying to restore order. And she did bestow kindness that, the Waverly underneath was still able to poke out and be like, here, we need to help people.
And you could see it too in her actions and certain things. Like you can clearly tell when the Dark Angel side of her was talking and taking control of things. But you can also, especially when she was talking to Nicole, you could see that the gears were kind of turning over to that side of but you're going to be stuck here forever. And she's like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
I'm not leaving you. Yes.
I'm not leaving you. Not again. Not ever.
I think C Royalty Music says, I think she needs another name because she wasn't very dark. She was a more mad librarian. I need my book back. To be fair, yes.
Literally the color of the fact that she is a dark angel, because most depictions of angels are usually in all white with either white feathers or gold feathers with some crazy stuff. She was literally a dark angel.
Though shout out again, if you guys haven't watched Lucifer, that does play with wing colors very fun ways.
I also want to know your opinions on this. I love that they gave her these prop wings the entire time, but it also kind of threw me out of the show a little bit because I was scared she's gonna bump into shit. I was like when she was walking up to do the cigarette thing, I was like, oh my god, please don't bump your wings. That'll ruin the illusion.
Wish she had 2 pairs where it was one where unfolded and then they did a second shot where
I don't know why they were out and spread eagle the entire time. I wanted it to be folded in because then if you had I understand there's a CG button, it's TV. I totally understand it, but I'm like,
could have done practical wings where they're
folded in.
I think I totally agree with you all. My biggest complaint is when she's walking away and there's a weird patch in the middle to cover up the two. And I'm like, that's not how wings usually work.
I was like, no. I just think that it didn't need to be open the entire time. That's not how angels walk. But again, also, I understand that
need to present their wings at all times.
Also true. I think it was more of a budget cut there that they just
it was definitely a budget.
Yeah. And it was just unfortunate, because the show is just perfect in every way, but that little itty bitty thing
budget, though, because it felt the same way with Dolls in season 1 where I was like, I hate this, I don't believe it, I don't like his yellow eyes, I don't like anything above this. And Carrie was like, it's just a budget. You don't like this character. It's just silly.
Yeah, I would say, playing devil's advocate for it though, it is the presentation and grandeur that she has on at 120% maybe. So that's why they're
I agree with you, but it made me think, I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but there's that one bird that's like trying to get its mate and it's just has its wings out all the fucking time, and I was just like, this is weird for me. So it just felt like
I kept waiting for
intimidating
Nicole and her to bump into each other at BBD. I'm like, wait, they're at the same spot, but they're apparently other parts of the building.
It was crazy.
Well, let's talk about the final scene. I appreciated the way that this went down. Essentially, we have Dark Angel Waverly is gone for now, which to me read as, if we get to come back somewhere else, this story will return.
Yep.
BBD has retreated for now. If we get back to if we find a new home for the next season, that will return. And Doc now has a fresh start. He's not a vampire. He's a human. He and Wynonna are back together. So that's nice.
Also, with that too, I'm so glad they finally had that discussion we've wanted the entire time of like, all right, Wynonna's like, I was totally a shit show for shooting someone in the back. I understand that's a code that's important to you. That was my bad. I'm like, oh, we're finally having that discussion. Just it happens to be at a standoff moment, but they finally said those words out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, now they can move forward, because that was a conversation they had to have to move forward. They could not move forward until they addressed like, yeah, that was bad that I did that, and I recognize that. Because Wynonna before, now she wouldn't have done that.
Sometimes.
Growth. We like it. We love to see it.
Here's the thing. When we had Tim on the show a couple episodes ago,
I'm so sorry.
And he said that everything you will be was satisfied. He said that it's a fair ending. He said something that did not sound promising. So,
well, kind of sad. He mentioned there could be sad.
So when his character died,
I thought maybe
I thought that was it.
I thought it was it. And honestly,
I was ready for it. I was like, I have my tissues ready. I was like, okay, we're letting go of this character.
Wow, bold, ambitious, heartbreaking.
I mean, if they decided to go down that route, I feel like out of all the characters, I feel like because Doc has lived so many lifetimes, it makes sense for his character to move on and finally find peace. Will it crush us to death? Hell yes. But I feel like it holiday needs a holiday. You know what I mean?
But it didn't make sense if that was the death, because I was like, wait, he's a vampire. A bullet backfiring won't kill him.
Yes. Agreed.
But yeah, no, I was concerned he was going to die, but I'm like, how could that kill him? He's a vampire still. Like, what? And so that made sense of like, all right, well, let's just rewind all of that information of who
I just didn't know if it was just internal bleeding, because he spit out blood. I was like, I don't know how this works. Does your cells regenerate? Was there a stake in there? We just didn't see it. Like, I don't know.
Speaking of stakes, can we please appreciate, I'm pretty sure this was Varun's improv back at the beginning of the episode. Mercedes is spilling blood everywhere. Doc has his fangs out. And Jeremy is in the corner doing this.
Yeah, I love that. He was like, stay away. You can do this, Doc. Compress your urges.
Also, he has the moment in the truck where he's like, my radar's going off and my friends are in trouble. My loins are
this
upset.
is my crotch is on fire.
I know. I was like, really? Are we really going back to this right now?
Yes, that joke is going to keep coming back.
Oh my God.
I love it. But luckily, Nicole is ready for the wedding.
That was so cute. Oh, come on. We got to love the interrupting moment too, that they keep doing it to each other. Cause it is true. It's like, excuse me. You interrupt all the time.
It's funny how I remember when we specifically, I believe Kari, when you were interrogating Tim a few episodes ago, as you want to do, you said something like, are we going to see this werewolf again? Like, I think he killed this gypsy, like at the very beginning of the episode. You were like, what's the werewolf guy, right? And he like almost gave away something, but he didn't. And Tim was like, I think he comes back. I think his name is Freddie, and I think I remember seeing his name on the script somewhere, and I was like, he comes back.
I love
he is like in a whole scene with him for a whole nother episode, and I was like, oh, he wanted to say so bad that he comes back, but he was scared to say it.
I love that he let us know that his name was Freddie, because I appreciated it even more when the scene happened, and he was like, I prefer Fred.
Yeah. They're like, not now. And then that was a funny gag to come back to.
Yeah.
I expect to see Freddie next episode. Since
he better be at the wedding.
I was gonna say, I'm like, he better be at the wedding doing something, like, you know,
do the flowers.
Yeah,
I guess flower girl.
Anyone that we like in this whole season, including Cleo, could be at the wedding. It's the last episode.
Oh no, she's gone. She's like, no.
Yeah, I think that's it.
You don't know. She could be in the back being like, ha ha ha. We don't know. I'm not putting anything past these creators for this last episode.
It does sound like we are ready to go into predictions. So let's talk about it.
Jump into it. Predictions.
I am so nervous for the next one because this episode wraps up so nicely that if this was the season finale, I could have been like, okay, everything was wrapped up as nicely as it could be, moments of like, sure. But it's like, oh, great. Now what's going to be the problem in the next one? Because we know we can't have a Wynonna Earp episode without something going wrong.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's just going to be wedding shenanigans, you know? So it's like,
No, I definitely think that something's going to come back. I mean, it's obviously going to be a mixture of wedding shenanigans, of things going wrong. But I'm just I'm just trying to see how supernatural these wedding shenanigans could get. You know what I mean?
Well, here are some things that have not yet been resolved. I guess it's just one that I could think of. Oh, no, I have a couple. All right. Eve from the garden escaped.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, and this is just a minor thing, Doc and Wynonna have an offspring. Where is it?
I thought we were just never going to bring that back up. I thought it was like, that ship has sailed.
I mean, it's possible, but now that, like, the town is more
I'd
protected.
be super into them never bringing up the child again. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, because for a while I thought it was Rachel, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It hasn't been that long, has it? So, yeah.
Well, you know, we know now that, you know, essentially Wayhot is stuck in the area. Wynonna and Doc aren't going anywhere anyway.
Nope. That would be weird.
Black Badge, I guess Jeremy is now in charge of the current location,
God, I hope so.
Has gotten rid of them and is like, we're all gone now, goodbye.
Okay, I know that this isn't technically like part of it, but now that the fog's gone, does that mean Robin's memories come back, or is that just like we wrapped up that story? He's at peace now.
I think we
like. Okay, I didn't know. I just thought it was because I rewatched all the other episodes just to make sure I can like fully recap and remember everything, and I was just like, so is that it for okay? Bye, Robin.
I think it was a production issue because I don't think this ruins anything. But like I said on last time, I accidentally looked him up on IMDb and he just had the one episode. Aww. So I honestly think for whatever reason they wanted that Robin storyline to do something and they just couldn't.
Yeah,
actor or whatever.
Something. Yeah.
Really quick.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. What for this episode, the finale, it's going to be like we were saying before of it's going to be wedding stuff. There might be little problems. And then something's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be a new witch, a new monster, new demon, something. And they will go on as if the adventure continues like back to normal for them. And so we'll have that sense of, okay, we wrapped everything up, but the adventure continues with our team. Maybe we'll see you next time. Like that kind of vibe.
I mean, it makes sense. It would make sense because even though we would love to like kind of wrap all these stories in a bow, which we've kind of done, it would be nice to know that it doesn't just stop at the wedding. Like it doesn't. It's like, all right, all of the supernatural things are gone now. Everything's at peace. We're just gonna grow old and be in love. You know what I mean? So that's nice. That like hopefully that'll be where that leads to, which would make sense. And then hopefully cross our fingers, maybe some other network will pick it up and we can continue where we left off. I don't know.
I mean, this is not a prediction, but I'm okay with it ending here.
How dare you?
I know, but only because we fought tooth and nail.
We did
for years, plural, for this.
Yeah, we did.
These actors are working on other shows now. Clearly, this network doesn't know what to do with a good thing. I don't trust it. Like, I'm trying to just appreciate what we were able to accomplish, you guys. So let's try not to end it on, let's hope another network picks it up, because we got the closure that we needed. Let's not ask for anything more is kind of where I am right now. Of course, I would love to see it go on Netflix specifically. I would love to see a You situation.
Yeah.
Where it gets picked up by a better network that has twice the budget.
Yep.
And lets us binge it.
I'd be okay with that. But also, we get what we fought for.
We did. No, I completely agree with you. It's bittersweet, I feel, because it's like, yes, I'm happy that we finally got the ending with the original, like, person that we love, Emily, with everything that's going on. It just, like, sucks that it's also kind of like, So, but I feel you on that.
Also because appreciate that they got out of the jail because of Mercedes, which we also predicted last episode.
True, yes. I just think it'd be good to wrap up now in the sense of, I think all the fans for so long, we've had this, like, it's maybe going to end, it continues, maybe it's going on, maybe continues, maybe it, and we haven't ever had that sense of, all right, this is the end, this is the plan. So there's this big sense of uncertainty that we can't just go, okay, this is the end of it. We're ready for it. But because I think it's been like cut short, and then we are like, no, bring it back. So I agree with you, Amber, that I'm like, I'm okay with this being the end. Of course, we all want more. There are the comics. So it's like,
that's true.
Sure. But I feel like we need to be okay with, like, all right, we've got it wrapped up as nicely as we could. And yeah, it's great seeing the actors going on to other projects and movies too, that we're all like, yay, rooting for you.
Yeah.
And as Tim said, the Earpers will last, regardless of the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This community, everything we've fought for, everything we've done together, we will continue. And I think that's a really beautiful thing.
And the fact that just the show itself stands the test of time, even if it ends, now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those, like I said, that's like, it's bittersweet. But yeah, we also don't need it to go, for 15 seasons, Supernatural, or anything like that. So, it's totally fine.
I mean, some shows can go 22 seasons and still be fresh and new and wonderful.
Yeah.
That's few.
But see, we can keep it fresh by getting new people on to watching the show. Because I've definitely met people, I'm like, but have you heard of Wynonna Earp?
That is true. I do like that. Like, a lot of people, even though like Wynonna Earp has really touched a lot of hearts, it's also nice to find new people, and then they have a good, literally a good 4 seasons to go through and just enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Well, on that bittersweet note, any final thoughts before we wrap up today's episode?
I just loved it. I loved this episode. Yeah. The writing was fantastic. The acting, especially for me, Billy was the standout actor in this episode.
I actually
really did.
Yeah.
I hope he's in many more things, because I did not like that character and he made me like him. That is good acting.
You know what's fun? Billy, the actor. Billy.
No way.
It is Billy.
Are you serious? I didn't know that. I need to look that up. But actually, though, that makes sense, right? Because most people who usually get, like, their first roles usually kind of, like, take the name so that it's easier for them to act with. Isn't that true?
I don't know. Also, I don't know that this is first roles.
I mean, I don't know. But you know what I mean. Like, I've noticed that some people do that.
We'll just have to have him on sometime.
Yes, please.
Well, I'm just glad we had so many ladies continuing to kick ass and save the day as well. Like Amber said, we had Mercedes. And again, it's not one of those, they're better. It's a, teamwork together, because it's her and Doc that could break out of the jail cell. And then it's Nicole who's like, here, let me get the outside door for you. So it's just so nice to have the individual shine and as the team, because that's what we've wanted to for a while, that people are great on their own, but as the team, we're just like, when they're a cohesive unit, they're so much better. And it's like, can we just get our nice wedding for the next one? So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
There's just so much maturity in this episode. I could talk about it for a long time. If you guys are watching the replay of this years from now, please continue to put your thoughts into the comments, because I actually think I want to come back and rewatch this episode a bunch of times and review things like Hot's journey of responsibility and trauma that finally she like matured into this episode, which I think we knew she would. A lot of magical things came and got wrapped up in this episode. The Clantons were literally set free this episode. And we had a lot of romance in a lot of different ways. So I loved it so much. And I am just so glad that we could all be here to talk about it. Yeah. And I just feel very lucky to have discovered the show in the first place and fought for it to be out.
That's my dog yelling in agreement with you.
I was going to say, I think this is probably one of the shows that I felt like every single character that we were introduced to had growth in some way, shape, or form. Like, and that's extremely rare for a show, to be honest. Like, especially for a fantasy sci-fi-ish show, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it is just insane. And it's not like little itty bitty things. Like, it's large, like, leaps and bounds for people, and also attaching everything that all adults go through, grief, death, trauma, all of that kind of stuff. And it's not the same stuff, or it doesn't have to be just specifically magical trauma that like you would only, you know, get because you're in a supernatural world. Like they literally went through death and grief. Like that's huge to talk about. And they didn't like, you know, glitz and glamour it up in a way where it didn't feel believable. Like we all felt how everybody went through all their different stages. And it was really something that like I push for, and hopefully future shows that they like learn from Wynonna Earp and like learn that this is what good writing will get you. This is what happens when you have someone who is a good writer, female, and just all inclusive in every way, shape, and form. That it doesn't feel like you're being shoved like, you know, the LGBTQ like love and all that kind of stuff.
Signaling marketing that we see so much now.
Yeah, exactly. So like
it just is like you can actually have a moral code. And share it creatively and have it just come off as being genuine.
Yeah, we definitely had that at the end of the trivia night one, and I'm so glad that the show has continued to do that. Of like, hey, here are important things you should know, and the people watching probably agree. But hello for you new people, just so you know.
Yeah. Also, I also love that. I know this is not like a big important thing, but also the F-bombs are just it's just so classily done. Like it wasn't like just throwing it out there. Like you felt anger and pain when they used said language. And I was like,
as someone who doesn't understand full-grown adults being offended by curse words, I once again did not notice there were any curse words.
Yeah, because it literally was sprinkled in for whatever. It wasn't used as like a whoa, you know, it was just like a yeah, damn, I felt that. Okay, yep. All right, let's continue. It was just, again, just smooth as glass, writing, directing, just all of it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, until next week, which is the season and possibly series finale, we will be back next Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. But until then, I know that right after this, I will be streaming on Twitch, and I'll tell you where to find that in just a bit. But Kari, where can everyone keep up with you?
Yes, thank you. Y'all can find me, there we go, online at Kari D Lane, that's KARIDLANE, over on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the things. I have a lot of interviews with voice actors on my YouTube channel as well as on my Instagram. I interviewed Jason Marsden last week, who you may know as the voice of Max from a Goofy movie. So that's super fun. That's over on my Instagram. And yeah, come chat. Let's continue this discussion.
Awesome. Alexis, where are you? What are you up to?
You guys can find Ask Queen. So I do a lot of random stuff also on TikTok and on Twitch. I will be streaming a little bit later tonight. We are doing more Japanese RPG stuff at probably in like 3 hours from now. But yeah, you can find me there doing all the cool stuff, and I love talking about just Wynonna Earp. So please hit me up.
Awesome. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL, including twitch.tv/Yael Tygiel. Right after this, I'll be playing Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. Very poorly, but I'll be doing that. And Alexis and I were doing on that same channel. You can check out what was it called? Drink or Dare. It was bunch of different women playing Truth or Dare, but it was just dares and booze. So you can check that out on my Twitch channel as well. Next time, hopefully Amber and Kari will be there as well. But Kari, this is your channel. Tell everyone what to do.
No, you mean Amber. Is her channel.
What did I say?
You said Kari.
My name. It's okay. We had that on our Twitter thread too, so you know.
I was literally looking
all
at Amber.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more content like this. I do typically do gaming things, but I will also cover fun sci-fi feminist things because I have interest in those. So if you've been enjoying this, subscribe, like, all the things. But I will be on Twitch as well. I put a link in the comments, and I also had one of my community members create an Earper emote. So if you subscribe to my Twitch channel, you will have access to the Earper emote on Discord and Twitch. It's a little Simpsons-looking pink donut with the sprinkles that spells out Earper on it. And I'm trying to just slowly convert people to be Earpers on my channel. So I'll be doing that. Thanks for being here.
Great. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week for the finale.